Okay, welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a story that honestly sounds like a sci-fi thriller. We're going to look at how Cold War espionage, literally looking for secret nukes, accidentally revealed the most powerful, universe-shaking explosions in the entire cosmos. Seriously, if you've ever wondered how intense military paranoia led to, well, one of the greatest astronomical discoveries of the 20th century, you are absolutely in the right place.
Let's kick things off with a completely terrifying mystery. The year is 1967. A U.S. spy satellite picks up this apocalyptic blast of radiation. I mean, alarms should have been blaring, right? Commanders should have been sprinting for the red telephone. But the data didn't match any known weapon on Earth. It wasn't the Soviets. It wasn't some rogue nuclear test. So what on Earth, or actually scratch that, what in space was it?
Part 1. The Secret Spy Satellites. Right, so to really understand the stakes here, we have to look at the massive escalation happening at the time. In 1963, the US and the USSR signed the Partial Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. This basically banned nuclear detonations in the atmosphere, underwater, and up in space. But, trust was pretty low. So to make sure nobody was cheating, the US military launched these highly classified Vela satellites in the mid-1960s. These were massive, multi-million-dollar pieces of orbital hardware with literally one job: detect the flash of a rogue atomic bomb. Which brings us right to July 2, 1967, when those exact satellites detected an inexplicable, blinding flash of high-energy gamma rays.
And the panic was real. The U.S. military was genuinely terrified the Soviets were finding loopholes. They actually thought the USSR might be testing catastrophic nuclear weapons entirely out of sight, on the far side of the moon. They definitely weren't looking for cosmic wonders. They were on high alert for atomic bombs, fully prepped for World War III.
Moving on to Part 2, A Flash from Space.
The craziest part? It wasn't just a one-off anomaly. It took a dozen more of these mysterious, blinding detections before a Los Alamos scientist named Ray Klebus et al. Put the pieces together. He realized, hey, this isn't a Soviet threat at all. These flashes were coming from all over the sky, not Earth, and definitely not the moon. No pattern whatsoever, meaning they were coming from deep beyond our solar system. After compiling 12 of these distinct events, he finally convinced his superiors this wasn't a Russian superweapon, and the military actually agreed to declassify this massive trove of data for the broader scientific community.
So what had they actually found? Gamma ray bursts, or GRBs. These are short-lived but incredibly intense flashes of high-energy radiation just washing over our solar system from deep, deep space. Totally unrelated to human weapons. By literally looking for the absolute worst of humanity's creations, the military had accidentally opened a window into the most violent events in the entire universe. It's wild.
All right, Part 3. What exactly are gamma ray bursts?
To put this unimaginable power into perspective, a single gamma-ray burst outputs more energy in a few short seconds than our entire sun will produce in its entire 8 billion-year lifetime. Just let that sink in for a second. In the time it takes you to take a single breath, these events release more power than a star burns through over billions of years. It's a level of cosmic violence that honestly just breaks the human brain.
To make sense of this crazy cosmic mystery, astronomers pored over the data and eventually figured out there are two distinct culprits here, based entirely on how long they last. First, you've got short GRBs. These flash for less than a third of a second and are caused by ultra-dense dead stars literally crashing into each other. Then you have long GRBs. These can last anywhere from a few seconds to several hours, and they're driven by the spectacular, explosive deaths of supermassive stars.
Let's dig into Part 4. Colliding neutron stars.
Okay, so short bursts. These are triggered by colliding neutron stars, which are the ultra-dense cores left over after a supernova. When two of these dead stars lock into a gravitational death spiral and finally smash together, it triggers this catastrophic event called a kilonova. The impact is so violently hot, it acts like a giant cosmic forge, just smashing heavy atoms together. We are literally talking about Earth-sized chunks of solid gold and platinum being forged in a fraction of a second and blasted out into the cosmos. Absolutely mind-blowing, right?
And the best part is, we know this isn't just theoretical math. The reality of this was confirmed beautifully back in 2017. The worldwide astronomical community detected ripples in the actual fabric of space-time, gravitational waves, arriving at Earth at the exact same time as a short GRB flash. It was the ultimate smoking gun. It proved, once and for all, that colliding neutron stars truly are the cosmic engines behind these violent gold-forging bursts.
Which brings us to Part 5, Birth of a Black Hole.
Now we get to witness the birth of an absolute monster, the kind responsible for the long GRBs. It starts when a massive star runs out of nuclear fuel and collapses inward under its own immense gravity. This crushing weight births a brand new black hole right in the center of the dying star. The leftover stellar material then swirls into this superheated, rapidly spinning accretion disk around the new abyss. And finally, this totally chaotic environment fires out twin jets of charged particles punching right through the outer layers of the dying star at nearly the speed of light.
But here is the most crucial and honestly kind of terrifying point. We don't see this blinding light from everywhere in the universe. The energy is highly directional. It acts exactly like a cosmic laser beam. We only ever see a gamma-ray burst if our planet happens to be looking right down the barrel of one of these relativistic jets. If the jet is pointed just a few degrees away from us out into empty space, we miss the flash entirely. These specific events are so catastrophic and output so much raw, obliterating radiation that standard astronomical terms just don't cut it anymore. They literally require a whole new classification, the hypernova. It's an explosion up to 10 times more powerful than a standard supernova. We're talking about the absolute upper limits of explosive force known in our entire universe.
Which leaves us with such a fascinating thought to wrap up on. Our paranoid, super-secretive search for human weapons of mass destruction accidentally revealed the universe's ultimate fireworks. It's a brilliant reminder of how science often progresses by pure wonderful accident. If looking for human bombs showed us the birth of black holes and the forging of solid gold, man, what else might we discover if we just keep looking out into the dark? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and we will definitely see you in the next one.